You know, making mistakes, natural part of life. But when it comes to your money, your retirement money specifically, it is best to quell those mistakes before they cost you too much of your hard-earned money. Safe Harbor Retirement Group President Cory Sickles back with some advice for us in this sponsored segment. Cory, good to see you.
Good to see you, Robin.
All right, we're talking mistakes, but these are money-costing mistakes, right?
Yes.
And how damaging can these be when you're talking about retirement?
The one thing I would probably say now, because pensions are kind of going away,
Yeah.
is it's kind of up to you anymore to be able to have the retirement that you want. So the earlier and the more money that you can save, you're just going to be in a better position the day that you do want to be able to retire.
Yeah, so let's talk then these common missteps, right? So up first, one of the biggest things you say is not saving now. And how many times do we see people where I don't have money to save or I can't save now, right? But
yeah, and what I would say to that is schedule a meeting with an advisor.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you have kids, you got to pay for school, college, and those type of things. But somehow you got to be able to save. If you're 40 years old and say your goal is $500,000 you want to save when you retire, if your retirement's at 67, you got to save about $600 a month.
Yeah.
Until you retire. However, if you don't start saving until you're 50, it's now going to jump to around $1,600 a month to have the same type of retirement savings.
Yeah.
So compound interest, and the earlier that obviously the earlier that you can start, the easier it's going to be for you when that day does come when you want to retire.
Absolutely. Okay, and next up, this one involves the 401k, right? So what is your advice there?
If they match, you have to put in. It's free money.
Yeah.
If a company is going to give you 3% of whatever you put, of your salary, if you put in, you have to do it because it's just free money that you're giving away. I mean, it's kind of like, would you want to make 3% less on your hourly wage or your salary?
Right.
And the answer to that is no. So think of it as money that you're giving up as part of your salary, and I think you'll be in a better situation when that time again comes for retirement.
And you mentioned the 401k, but some companies don't have it. Maybe it's a small company or you're self-employed. What do you do in that case?
So again, I'd say, meet with an advisor, open up your own IRA or open up a Roth account. And that's one thing that I would always, say is try to put as much money as you can into a Roth. Yeah, you pay your taxes today, but it grows tax-free.
Yeah.
And when you take it out in retirement, it's going to be tax-free as well.
Okay, now the next thing, not rebalancing your portfolio. And as you talk about what that entails, how often should we be doing this as well, Cory?
A minimum of at least once a year.
Okay.
And one thing you need to know is what kind of risk do you really want to be able to take on if the market goes the other way, right? And I'll use this year as an example. The market's up about 14% year to date, right?
Yeah.
So naturally, your risk has gone up, because what you have in stocks has gone up as well. So right now is a good time to rebalance. A lot of people are going to start to get a little bit of, they're going to have questions about because of the election this year. So this is a great time to go in and rebalance just to make sure that it's at the risk level you want it to be at.
And sometimes I know we've talked, Cory, in the past about elections, and they don't have a huge impact like people think. Do they a lot of times?
We have historically, I can go in and show you slides.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, whoever's president, it doesn't matter. Does it have an impact for maybe a month on the market? Sure.
Yeah.
But over the course of their 4 years, it does not. It's whether companies make money or not. And that's really what drives the market. So what I would say is rebalance. Don't let your emotions drive you on who's going to be president.
Yeah, in a few, months or whatever.
Exactly
Okay.
Right.
So the next one you say poor tax planning. That's a big misstep?
It is a big, the most common thing people tell me is, well, I'm going to be in a lower tax bracket when I retire. And I can tell you this, if you probably say you want to make 80% of what you earn in retirement, odds are you're in the same tax bracket. So the question is a 12% tax bracket or a 22% tax bracket when you retire going to be that? That's what it is today. Is that what it's going to be when you retire?
Yeah.
And the answer to that is probably it's not going to be less. It's going to be the same, or it's going to be higher. So my theory would be is assume you're going to be in the same tax bracket. get as much tax-free money as you can, and that's where a Roth IRA and some other products that we could show you could put you in a better position.
I want to quickly say a couple of the last ones as we run out of time, but the other things, doing things too early, like cashing out your savings and taking Social Security. So I imagine that's something you need to time out very specifically, right?
Always talk to an advisor before
Yeah.
you do anything of taking money out of a 401k or triggering Social Security.
All right, and not having a plan, the biggest misstep of all. So meet with somebody. Cory has 2 locations, complimentary meeting there at Safe Harbor. So Cory, thank you.
Thank you, Robin.